good. This is good.
Right.
Bro,
That's so
I
crazy.
always forget, dude. No, man,
How?
you were just thinking about like, I bet you she got hella equity in that property because she don't know how to
Yeah,
use it,
bro.
right? And I'm like,
Right.
when I see a house with so much equity, you know what I think? That's an employee, 100% of the
Gotta
time.
be.
It's
It
an
gotta
employee.
be.
They have no idea how to use the value of their property. They're
Oh
not
my
looking at
God.
collateralizing against it. They're not looking at
No,
even
no.
HELOCs,
I don't even
right?
want to do that. I don't want
Like,
to do
why?
that.
Why would I do that? Like, it's literally a piggy bank that regenerates.
Like, what's up with you, bro? I
Why
don't
would you
know.
not?
This is why we need this, though. This is why we need this.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Oh
Bro,
my
you're gonna convince her. I can't wait. I can't wait for the resolution of the story,
God.
honestly. Just
Right.
wanna be a fly on the wall, fast forward like a year. I just want to time travel like for a little bit, right? I want like 12 minutes 1 year from now when this is like all done, and you're like, yeah, and then she's like
People be in
sent
her
me a
room
happy
thinking
birthday. She sent me a
hard.
birthday card. She probably
She'll be in her
like,
room thinking hard as hell.
But she
oh,
just
for
told me
real.
I'm not her niece. She gonna be driving past the house like sick as heck. Like, oh my god.
Oh boy,
Well, you
that's
know,
crazy.
because she lives nearby, right?
No.
Well, she works not nearby, but she lives in Parkland. Let me put this in perspective. Parkland is like
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Oh, that's enough. 40 minutes is enough time to be petty. So she gonna drive by there and she gonna see the contractor working. And she gonna be like, she gonna be hurt. Oh,
To
she
be
gonna be like,
petty.
oh, ugh. every day, every day. She gonna be like, oh God. What's her husband? She gonna talk to her husband like Hubert. Hubert, they started to work. Hubert,
not here.
he doing it. That's not his name, right? Did I make that up? His name not
Alfred,
Hubert.
Nosy Rosie, that's what it sounds like. Neighbor.
Alfred.
Nah, bro.
not Hubert. But she was
Alfred.
all the way in Miami, so for her to get
Albert.
an hour with traffic and all that crap, so she'd be driving an hour to and from work every day. I'm like, that's
She gonna
crazy.
be speeding to be
Yeah.
petty. She gonna be like, oh, she said she started to work. I'll see
Let me
about
go to
that.
see.
We'll see
They got her
about that.
money and everything. Like, what you
She's on the
tripping for?
phone. She's on the phone with Alfie. Alfie, I can't wait to show you she didn't start. There's gonna be some Juan's gonna be out front with the dumpster, like, hey, miss, can I help
Yo,
you?
bro.
Like, no, what are you doing here? I construction crew. We are tear
Ew.
down inside. We rebuild. Can we help you? I'm like, oh shit, Alfie, Alfie, she's got workers in the house, Alfie. Yeah, that's what she said she was gonna do. Stop being crazy.
Yo, people funny as hell.
Man,
Nah,
wow.
that's
It's
funny,
wild.
bro. Seriously.
Can I live like this, man? But
Crazy.
yeah, it's because I think that it's genuinely because you gotta think about like it's so crazy to just be like 30 years old and like be at the point where like I can't be an employee again, man. I cannot do it. I don't want to do it. That is so foreign to me. And then there's people who are like 40, 50, 60 that all they know is being employees. And so when you
Yeah,
tell them these
it's
they're
crazy.
like, that's impossible. That's not true, Susan. That's not true. Please
For
correct
real.
yourself.
She's
Like I
like
can't
so
live it.
scared. Like she's always complaining how she works so hard. She's so tired. She can't
That's what they do. That's what they do, bro.
retire. Like,
Damn.
girl,
That
That
shit
sounds like
is sad
employee
to me.
problems. I can't live that
For
life.
real. For real.
I can't
That's
live that life.
crazy.
And I'd
That's
rather be
sad, bro.
tired doing my own thing, That shit that
Right.
sucks. But it's
But
gonna
you
be
think
so
about,
you gotta be the bigger person. We talked about it. You gotta be the
yeah, I
bigger
think
person
that everybody's just not the same though.
for sure.
Everybody's just not the same though. I don't know. I don't really know how to think about that. Like, is it just a point in time of their life where they could have went this route and they just chose not to, or is it just like they just not really cut from that cloth? Whatever they want to do, I don't know, bro.
I think it's an exposure thing.
What you say?
That boy Chris cut from that special cloud.
Yo, yo,
Why you say it like that? Why you gotta say it like that?
I don't know, bro.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? Bro, yo, bro, what's he doing
That's
over
my
there?
boy, bro. No, no, that's
Oh
me,
my God.
bro. Like,
I
like,
just see him. I just see Chris like real close to the camera, like you work a job for 40 years. I build businesses. We are not the same. Like Chris, why you gotta flex on him like this? Why you gotta do this?
with the mustache.
He
Chill,
doing
no,
he
I
doing
can't
the
do
old
that.
he got the handlebar. He over
I'm
here
just
doing the old twisty twisty.
can't
Like
think
why
about it.
you like in the office? Chris over here with the ring light. Like we are not the same. Chris, stop. I'm like, Chris, you make it. First, we said shoot the video, but we didn't tell you to flex on him like this. Why you gotta go so crazy? Why you gotta be like this?
Chill.
starting to do work on their house.
Oh.
I'm Yeah, the old house that they lived at that I basically grew up in, but they held on to that, moved to this Parkland house, and they just sold the other one for like $900,000. So they have money.
Damn.
Well, did they have? Is that $900,000 equity?
Well they held they I don't let me look it up. No,
Because they were exempt, so they were exempt on 500,000 of that. So on the remaining 300,000 or 400,000, they got taxed hella hard. Sad life. That's employee problems. Can't live like that. Why would I do that? What am I gonna do with $300,000 today? Bro, that don't make no sense.
Crazy.
Why would you just do that to give the government? Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
And their
My mom
landlords-
could have went to somewhere else. Could have went to their kids. They got kids.
They got 2 kids. They just had their first grandbaby in June.
They could have did something to where that could be going to their family, man.
They don't give a
Mhm.
no offense.
That's crazy. That's what employees though. That's how they think. They want to grab, give me,
I need it now. I need
and
it
just
now.
take it. Yeah, then take it,
I need it
and they don't
now.
want to do nothing else with it. So
The
yeah,
definition of fuck them kids. I don't know, man.
fucking crazy.
Can't
Oh,
live
I
like
worked
that.
hard. They gonna have to work hard too. Now that's crazy.
Like, why would you
At
do
least-
that? Like, I want my kids to.
Yeah, go ahead.
To live a better life, bro.
I told him my message. I was like, yo, like this is for me, this is for Rose, this is for like everybody that's after us. And my aunt was like, don't call me your auntie.
We didn't get that. No, that's crazy.
Like,
They just go the opposite way. You be like, damn, can you please just look at the road of
you
compassion? Be like,
Can you please
That's
let me
it.
make us some money? How
Like-
am I gonna beg somebody to let me make us money?
like, nah, bro. At that point, it's just like, all right, cool. We cut from that different quote. That's what you say.
All
What?
right,
Like,
I'm
what
about to
else?
hit up a property. I'm about to hit up a seller that I talked to before they listed the property for sale. That was 3 months ago. It's still on
1303, bro.
market. 1303? What happened to 1303? Did they fucking answer?
I don't know.
Now I gotta look in Podio.
What
'Cause you know I don't be
happened, bro?
remembering, bro.
Bro, oh
gotta
my
look.
God. What happened, Perry?
Notes in Podio. I'm gonna check. Let me hit this one first, though. This is just a text message. I'll be like, hey, Chris, I see that the guy's his name is Chris. Like, hey, Chris, I see that this 123 Main Street hasn't sold yet. What's going on with that, man?
This is gonna be fun. She was telling me about the property that she sent me, Nicole, and I was looking at it. I'm just like, And then I already know like what's going to happen. I already know what's like going down. But then she told me, and then she was like, yeah, and I also forgot to tell you that they're gonna put $5,000 down worth at closing for closing costs. And I'm thinking about it like, that really don't matter, bro. It's gonna be fun to be. I don't know, to be at that.
Bro, it's good, right? Bro,
Right, to be at
it's so
that.
crazy. It's so
point.
crazy to be, bro. It's so funny, bro. I'm excited for you guys, and I'm glad that we're getting to this point. Like, I think we've talked about it before. Like the way
Is
that
Leah
I
talking
feel
to
like.
us?
Oh no,
Is she on the
you
phone?
muted Leah.
Uh-huh.
She's on the phone.
Oh, all right, okay.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
I'm listening, Perry.
There you go. Yeah, we talked about it before. How like, oh, my vacuum, ready to vacuum again. But yeah, we were talking about before how like, I feel like the reason that I feel like I'm at this position I'm at, like as far as teaching it, not that I'm great, but like I just talk about this shit all the time, and I'm just trying to share it as much as possible, right? And so it's like when you guys start talking about this shit to other people, that's like not me and not other people, bro, you're gonna be like, bro, you know why? Here's the honest to God's truth. I enjoy talking to you guys about these things so much because it gives me like insights that I never would have had if I was just talking to myself. And I talk to myself a lot, right? I be in this thing having full-blown conversations like, but what if we did it like this? And what if that don't work because of this reason, right?
Right.
But when you start talking to like newer people and newer students, you remember those questions that you had. You be like, that's a good question. Let me tell you why. That's a good point. That's a good thought. I see what you're thinking. Let me close the gap in your knowledge and show you these things.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I think that like the team that we have here has a great knowledge base, and it's only going to be compounded by your capacity and your position to teach others because they're so hungry. They want to know
Right.
stuff. They want to know stuff. And even it even happens now. You'll be like, oh, what's this? What's that? I'm like, oh yeah, this thing, this thing. Wait till it happens to you. You're gonna be like, is this what this feels like? What?
I'm crying, bro.
Bro, it's so
Hey,
bro. You be like, damn, that motherfucker just asked me a question and I knew it. Ooh,
yo, roll it right though.
at the trap house
Oh
jumping
yeah,
like
but I
Jordan.
already know what's gonna happen. I'm excited to talk to her later because I just had so many things to say, and it's funny how you debunk a lot of things. It's just like, damn, I thought that would matter. It's just like,
Yeah, but like that don't matter.
yeah, nah.
5,000 down, don't care.
Like all the money we got on the line and our investors and everything. Do you think we care about the little 5,000 they're gonna put up? What is their property worth? That's what we.
Where your grandma stay? Where your
It doesn't
grandma
matter,
stay?
bro.
Where your daddy stay?
You know it's crazy.
One thing I can't share my screen. I pulled up the house that Auntie and Uncle sold last year. It was $965. They sold.
They bought it $176,000 in 1996.
They sold what?
In 1996?
They bought it for $176,000 in 1996, and they sold it for $965 last year.
Bro, I can't wait.
Did they fix it? That shit
Yeah,
is
they fixed it
beautiful.
up.
God,
Oh,
dog.
so they already doing a.
Those
They
marble
know
floors?
this shit. They know this shit. I had looked
It's
this
still
up
employee
before we
shit.
even talked about all of this.
They just busting. They
Yeah,
trying to
busting,
bust your
busting.
shot, bro. That's what it is.
They
They
playing
just trying to
dumb.
bust your shot. It's all right though. You know, you figuring it out.
Oh,
trying to-
I thought you were saying like the house is all right. That's a nice house. I was like, let's not be
Chill.
let's not be too forward here. That's a very nice
That
home.
shit
I
is
like
beautiful,
that.
bro. It's
10
beautiful.
out of 10. This is what it looked like when they bought it. Ain't no way, my boy.
And this is the
What it
apartment
look-
house. This the
This
mansion.
the what?
This is the house that they got now, right?
Yeah, this the mansion they live in. This old
They
pictures.
got palm trees and shit.
Damn. At least they employees doing that type of stuff.
They high paid employees. They fancy employees.
Fancy employees, right?
Can't live like that. That's a wonderful ass house. And so this is obviously to the but think about this, right? Just think about if they have the capacity. For one, I think there's a bunch of things to talk about inside of it, right? Like one thing is that just if you just lived in this time frame, right? There's been so many opportunities to succeed.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who hasn't succeeded in that time frame to some reasonable extent has not they didn't know enough or they didn't do enough, right? And then even
Right.
further, imagine if they had the forecasting and they had the thought process to be entrepreneurs and to build things and to create things instead of working for other people, right? Like that would have been a
Right.
game changer. So this house is amazing. I think that that's a reflection of time and their ability to be professionals. But if they had only been out of that E, if they had gone into the S category, if they had gone into the B or the I, bro, like where are they? I'm mad.
No.
I'm mad that they only got those two houses.
Right. Right.
I'm upset.
They did pretty good for themselves though, but it's like at that point,
Yeah.
where is it going?
All they had to do was
That
not
money.
sell.
They got
Right.
other properties.
There's one in Orlando, but she claims that they're tired of being Orlando. So
Where that house at?
Wait a minute. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go do your thing. Do your thing, 21. Do your
Where
thing.
that house
When you
at,
finish
though?
this one, when you finish this your grandma house, you gotta be like, okay, now. You got any other houses
Right.
you trying to sell?
Right.
You're gonna be like, no, you're professional.
I'm crying. Did not want you to grow up. That's what it is, bro.
want me to
Trust
go-
They just see you as that kid,
Right.
and they can't imagine that you know something they don't. It's like
Boom.
I was
There it is.
raised on the internet. Like I am already better than you.
That's crazy, but kind of
You know like you know what kind of like you know what makes me think about when I was a kid. My dad we had a computer. It was like in our kitchen, right? Which is like the kitchen dining room area, whatever. And my dad was pretty tech savvy for when he came up and whatnot. He was like a computer nerd. He loved technology. And at one point, like he was like, "You've been staying on the computer too long. I'm gonna have to set a code so that you can't get on after a certain time." I was like, "All right, cool, cool, cool." So what he did was he set the code to 11 o'clock, right? By no, I think it was 10. It was like something not crazy. It was like if at 10 o'clock, what would happen is it was child lock, the computer would lock and I wouldn't be able to play anymore because the computer's timer would turn off the internet, right? And then so one day I figured out how the thing worked and I didn't have the access to change the timer. I didn't have access to change when it locked. But what I did have access to was the computer clock. And I would just change the computer clock so that it never hit the timer. So it'd be coming up at 10 o'clock. I would change the computer clock to like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because you could change it as an admin because I was on my dad's account, right? And even then, when he made so he did that, I did that, and he was like, I remember one time he came in there and he like looked at his watch and he was confused. He was like, I'm pretty sure I did this thing, but he didn't say anything about it because we had never even talked about how he was going to apply this control, right? And so then what he did was he made me an account and he put child restrictions on it. But even as a child restricted account, I still had control over my clock. So he put the thing on my account and then I would just change the clock. And it's so crazy to me because he never said anything about it. And I mean, like, I'd be sitting in there like 11:30, 12 o'clock, still playing. And I know he was thinking, like,
How? Maybe he just thought
how?
that he didn't know. Well, maybe he was
No,
like, damn,
he
maybe I thought I
no,
knew
no,
what I
no,
was
no, no,
doing.
no, no. Because when he would get on and he would like walk away from his computer because I was a sneaky little piece of trash, I would like go and look at his recent activity, and I could see him had having played with the thing. He uninstalled the program, reinstalled it, all this other stuff, and so he was probably like, "How?" But
Trying to figure that
he
shit
could
out.
not fathom. I just realized I just imagined that he couldn't fathom how I had outsmarted this system, and he never tried it again. He just never did it again. He
Yeah,
just
that's
ever
what I'm
one, we
saying.
never talked about it. We never talked about it, right? Because it's a different person.
That's
One,
what
we
I'm
never
saying,
talked
bro.
about it. And then two, he just never tried it again. He was like, man, this motherfucker,
Crazy.
how does the internet work? I
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. He
It's
probably was
tubes and
like,
lights.
damn. He probably was like, damn, I thought I knew what I was doing, but maybe I just.
No. And he was pretty savvy, right? Like my dad knew what he was doing, but like I outsmarted that motherfucker. I was like, bro, I was like, I need the time.
Funny
I
as
gotta have
hell.
more time. I gotta have more time. And my little prepubescent brain is
Funny as
like, I gotta
hell.
have more time. Gotta have more time. What if I just change the clock? And then it could work. It worked,
So I think about
bro.
some different shit.
Bro, he
They be
never
so surprised. They
and
hate
then
that.
I put it back at the end too because I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed. Put the clock back, so he didn't know I changed it. Man, he was trying to figure that shit out. I swear, oh man, I swear, he's probably trying to figure that out to the day he passed. Like, man, I wonder how that boy got past that lock.
That's my
Never
boy.
talked
Probably
about
all
it.
he could say. He
Never.
probably was.
That's what he's been
I
like.
tell
My
you that,
boy's so smart.
cause he
That
probably was
boy's
just like,
smart.
yeah, "That's my
Boy's
son." Like,
smart. That boy's
fuck it.
smart.
I ain't even gonna
The
say
puzzles
nothing.
of life, bro.
That's
He's
what I
like, if
say.
for real, if it was me, and I'd be like, damn,
Right. So
I really put a barrier into place, and he circumvented it the next
fuck yeah. I say yeah.
day.
Fuck yeah.
And I
That's
don't
my
know how
boy.
he's doing it. I ain't even mad at him.
I say that's my boy, bro. That's
Oh,
it.
that's my boy.
Yeah. That's what I would want him to do. I'm not even gonna lie. That's what I would want him to do. Hey, my son's smart. My son's smart as hell, bro. And he's only not like he's about to be like 9 months now. So boom, put him in a car seat, right? And we just came in. He was sleeping, so we'll be coming from somewhere, and he'd be in a car seat. You know, it'd be still locked up. We'll put him on the floor or something, and and we'll go and do something. I'll be like, I'll be right back. But he like locked down. He sleep like so. It's like think about it. Come back, bro. Not even 5 minutes, bro. Come back, bro. You start hearing him crying, but I'm like, okay, he probably just woke up. Bro, I'll come back, bro, like halfway out of the car seat, turned around. I'm like, no. I'm
No
like, no.
way.
So I'm upset. So I'm upset, like just thinking, like, why would he do that? Like
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
that's like my primal brain just like thinking about it, like, no, like I've done this for a reason, and I
He
don't want you
needs
to get hurt.
control, man.
Why,
He
right?
needs
Why would
control.
you
He's
do?
like, that's not what he's thinking. He's like, I feel trapped.
You
He's
know
like,
what I'm
Father.
saying?
He's like, Father, why would you betray me this way?
So I'm just
Father,
like,
how could
what?
you?
Right. So I just thought about it, like, you know what, bro? I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad. If somebody was in that situation, if my kids was in that situation, that's fucking exactly what I would want them to do. So I mean, hey, that's crazy, bro.
It's the recklessness because it'll pay off in another way, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Let them
why. Yeah, that's
do
why I
what they're
stopped.
supposed
It's hard, man, because I stopped
Right.
like fighting my kids on a lot of stuff where I was like, I'd be like, don't do that because of this, that, and the other. And then I realized, like, I don't want to scare the risk out of them because
Absolutely.
I think that in order to escape the trap of being an employee, they have to have a
Yeah.
desire to change and try. And I think that
Right.
that a certain type of childhood encourages them to play it safe. But it's
Absolutely.
crazy because the most risky thing they can do is just be an employee for 40, 50 years and just hope. It's like,
That's crazy,
no,
though.
don't,
Nah.
that's bad, bad. No employees in this house
Right. Absolutely.
or limited employees, right? You can be an employee for a little while. You are employed by our
Burn the
business.
rope,
That's what
but
you do.
right. Absolutely. But yeah, that's definitely the game. Like that's the thing.
And these new babies, like, they are geniuses. Like,
Oh
Rosie,
yeah.
what
Oh
to
my goodness. These Gen Zers, my goodness. Oh my, these kids are so smart. And that's why I told you the story about the night guide, right?
Mm-mm.
I told you guys about the night guide. Who was I talking to? Oh my goodness. All right, I'm not gonna get into it. Long story short, yeah, because I was a drill instructor, and so I had like 18, 19-year-old kids. Bro, these kids are
Oh,
so
I think you kind of asked
smart.
something
They're
about
just so smart and they're so resourceful
You talked to
and
me
they're
about that. I
technologically.
remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was me and Earl talking. We were bullshitting during no pay hours. But yeah, these kids are so smart. And so short version, there's a system that we have in place at recruit training where there's one guy in charge of the platoon, and then he's got a team of 4, and then they're in charge of each squad. So they've got like 8, 10 to 15 guys underneath them.
it.
Well,
Right.
normally in the cycle, like this, the guide who's the number one guy, you just slay that kid and teach him everything, and then you force him through punishment to teach everybody else, but you also give him the most advantages and benefits, right? So, like the guide, nobody else can punish the guide. So, when I'm the senior drill instructor, the guide belongs to me. So, all the drill instructors can IT anybody they want, but only I punish the guide, right? And then the drill instructors, they can kill the rest of the platoon. So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the guide messed up. Tight, all of you gonna pay." Like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, but the guide belongs to me, bro. So don't worry about him." We're like, "Hey, guide, you messed this up. You platoon's gonna pay for it, right?" So the guy gets like no sleep. The guy's up all night, usually, right? The
Yeah.
guy's usually up all night. He's getting slayed, and it takes a toll on him, but it makes him better in a lot of
Right.
ways. Well, I had this one cycle. It was like my favorite cycle, and I was doing something at the very end of the cycle, and I was doing something at the very end of the cycle, and well, it was my green belt cycles. I was doing something at the very end of the cycle, and I'm like working with them. They're Marines already, and I'm just kind of like it's low key, it's low pressure, because the shit's easy at this point. We're really just like teaching them how to be Marines and be like professionals and whatnot. Not that we haven't been doing that before, but up until this point, they've been recruits, and now they're
Right.
Marines. So I'm like, yeah, private capers, come here, do this thing. Oh, now,
Respect.
hey, private whatever, go do your thing. This is what you got to do, and they can ask questions and shit. And so one of them was talking some stuff and he said something like something, something, something. Yeah, we'll get the night guide to do it. And I'm like, what guide? He's like, the night guide, staff sergeant. And I'm like,
That's just
what are you saying, stupid? What is you just make a word up? He's like,
right.
the night guide, staff sergeant. And the other recruit, the other
Smart as hell.
privates are like, hey, Johnson, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, you shut the fuck up. Come here, Johnson.
Yo,
Johnson's always told the truth. He's like this little Asian kid. He was a good kid.
right.
Shout out to Johnson. He's out there. His name is Sean. Sean Johnson. He's a good kid. He's like the night guide. And I'm like, Sean Johnson, what the fuck is a night guide? What the heck is a night guide? He's like, staff sergeant. It's like the guide, but at night. And I'm like, okay, guy, you ain't telling me nothing, bro. So I called the guide over. The guy's name was Flores. I'm like, Flores, come here. He's like, yeah, staff sergeant. Runs over. Private Flores, Private First Class Flores reporting gets ordered. I'm like, Flores, what's the night guide? And
He
like
probably was like,
his
oh
eyes open,
shit.
and he looks at Johnson. I'm like, don't look at him, look at me. I asked you
Right.
a question. What's the night guide? He's like, Staff Sergeant. It's like the guide, but at night. And I'm like, bro, I hate you. This
He's like,
kid,
bro, what the
bro,
fuck is going on? So
bro,
they
he's
made
the
some whole
dumbest,
shit go
smartest
up.
guide ever, man. I'm like, Flores, I'm gonna kill you twice.
So what,
I
they
will
made some
kill
shit
you,
up?
bro. I
What
will
else
kill
you
you. And I'm
doing?
like, what's the night guide? And he's like, well, Staff Sergeant, there was a lot of things that needed to be done during the cycle, and I'm only one person. And so what I did was and I'm like, yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff. You got 4 squad leaders, and every squad has like 4 fire team leaders, and so you got a bunch of subordinate leaders. He was like, yes, but like nothing compares to the guide, right? He's like the power. Nothing compares to the guide, right? And
Right.
he's like, guide, and I'm like, okay, but like, what's the night guide? And he's like, yeah. So what he did was during the day, he had all the power and he got to command the recruits, almost like a little mini drill instructor, except without the yelling and shit. And
Mhm.
so he was like, yeah, so at night, there's a specific time of night, it's called taps. And so really that means like, hey, the day's ended and then it's night quiet time, right? So at a certain point of the day at taps, there's the bugling plays, the flag is lowered. And so what he did was that point, he did turnover with another recruit. And what he did was he took all his power and he would just give it to another. He's like,
Somebody
"You're
else.
the guide at night." And until
Hey,
morning, where the bugle plays, it's fucking at lights 4 a.m. right, and it was actually um, a little bit before that, they would turn over again. And so what he would do every night is before taps, he would do a turnover. And he'd be like, "Hey, cool, this is the things that need to be done. You got it." And he would go to sleep and just rack out, right? And that other kid, he was like an insomniac. He would just stay up all night with the platoon and work on everything. That kid was like super low key. He was like under the radar. He never did anything crazy. So like he got left alone for the most part. Obviously, like everybody got picked with because that's part of the job. But like
right,
the ones who are good and that just get it, like I don't fuck with them. I need to slay the ones who are in pain that need to have their problem solved. That like they've got like they're moving slow or they're touching their faces, they're not paying attention. Like those are the kids I'm focused on. So the ones who got their shit together, I don't really fuck with them that much. Anyway, so there was this other kid. There was this other kid named Gaona. And so I'm like, Flores, like, you did what? And he's like, yes, sir. Yes, Staff Sergeant. I took my power as the guy and I gave it to recruit Gaona, well, Private Gaona. And I'm like, Gaona,
who
come
did
here,
that tell you
right?
to do
And so he
that?
runs over. He's like, good afternoon, Staff Sergeant. And I'm like, Are you the night guide? And then his eyes open up, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. There's no way. So I'm like, explain to me what happens. And they explained to me,
Hey,
like, yes, once the lights went out, he would turn over with Gaona. There's this thing called the guidon. It's like a flag, right? You see like this red flag above me? There's
yeah,
one that's on a stick. You've seen it in some of the pictures. It's on like a guidon stick
yeah,
and so that's a representation of the platoon, and it shows like who we are. And so what happened is the guide would in the night, he would go move the guide on to the back of the squad bay and he'd be like, hey, look, like they do their little turnover and he's the guide for the nighttime. And then he would put it back in the morning. And I'm like,
so
bro.
they made their own little system.
And what was crazy about it is that it was so effective, right? It was so effective because they made more subordinate leaders within the unit. And what was crazy about it is that, like, it was a conversation point about how we had built this system to demand so much of this one person, this one point of failure, and it was really limited by how much he or she could handle until they were
Right.
too exhausted to perform, right? When he split his authority in half, day and night, normally what they do is the guide commands the squad leaders, and the squad leaders have the fucking they run the things from there. And
Right.
even then, that still has its value, but it doesn't always perform as well over time. But a night guide, bro,
Mhm.
didn't I was like, there's no way. And I remember like I was looking back at the cycle and I'm like, bro, we got so good overnight. It was because of that. And so what happened was in my later cycles, taught the recruits like, hey, check it out. Squad leaders, you got to do the thing no matter what. You're getting slayed, period. But that's what you asked for. But the guide, what I would recommend is that you and the squad leaders work together, pick a second, right? Normally, the way it worked out is like your first squad leader was the second in command, your second squad leader was your third, and all the way down to your squad, right? There's an order. What I told him was like, look, pick somebody. You can pick somebody that is your night guide. And they need to be responsible. They got to be a team player and they got to have all the traits that matter. They have to be respected so that when somebody says, hey, we have a question, yeah, you could talk to the squad leaders about it, but teach the night guide everything you need to know. And so then what we had was instead of having a guide and 4 squad leaders, which gives you 5 key leaders, what we
Right.
had is 2 guides. And then the squad leaders would turn over with their night crew, right? And it just made the whole platoon so much better, right? So effectively, I went from 5 subordinate leaders to 10 subordinate leaders overnight. and the platoon just took off, right? And so they applied the characteristics of leadership across the board. Everybody was bought in. Everybody was convinced that they had a role to play, and they were all focused on the outcomes. And bro, I never forgot the
help you
night
now
guide.
too.
I never forgot the night guide. And so when I would like, there was a point where I was the chief academic instructor. So I like built the curriculum to teach all the recruits who came out of San Diego, which is pretty much half of the entirety of the Marine Corps, right? As far as like the recruit training system was at the time. And so, yeah, I would tell them like, look, there was like leadership classes. And I talk to them like, look, with great power comes great responsibility, like Spider-Man said. But let me tell you a story about like how you can be creative in certain terms. And yeah, man, the dang night guide, bro. Teaching it to other people made my subordinate leaders so much better.
Right.
And then what I realized was that, I mean, we already knew it, but I watched it. The language of the subordinate leaders is a different language than we as drill instructors would speak. And sometimes I just had to let recruits teach recruits. And that was something that, you know, we knew collectively as instructors. The drill instructors are like, look, I'm a Marine. I've been a Marine for
it's
10
a
years.
community.
Exactly. And so now they're speaking to each other. They're speaking their own language. And then they take the language that we have, they incorporate it, but they speak their own language. The recruits, like, you just got to let them teach each other at a certain point. So we give them all the tools. I give them all the resources. I would do the stage 1 teaching, and then I had to let them go.
Just how
Bro, go
things
teach.
supposed to be. Right. It's supposed to
Exactly.
grow.
So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And that's amazing because that experience is coming to here.
Here we
That's what
go.
we're doing now.
The night guide. Go forth, be the night guide.
The night guy.
There we go.
I'm crying, bro.
That kid's out there somewhere. He's living his best life. He's doing good stuff. They're doing good stuff. I just think about all the night guides I had after that, because I would tell them early on the cycle, and I'm like, look, guide, you're gonna get slayed. You might want to find somebody and give them half your power. Hint, 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 wink, wink. Like a night guide, sir? Yeah, stupid, like a night guide. Like a guide, but at night.
I'm crying, bro. Nah. And that come back to that point of you feeling like everything is so like you feel like it's so easy or like it's so hard, and then when you figure something out, then it's just like,
Ah,
like,
snap.
like,
Yeah.
You
And
know, so
I couldn't imagine.
it's crazy,
I
bro.
couldn't imagine the way
It's
that
just
that
a
would have
small
worked,
gap.
but I watched it happen. And I thought I had to think, I was like, there's no way. I literally got so mad at first. I was so mad, bro. I was like, this kid's a liar. All 3 of them are lying. The whole platoon's liars. They're trying to play me. I'm gonna have to kill them. I have to thrash the platoon because
Bro,
they're lying.
crazy when
And
people don't
I thought I
understand
had to
stuff.
think back, and it was crazy because, you know, we're talking about the employee, like the employee small business thing. I couldn't imagine that they would take the initiative in a way that was effective because I was too blinded by the idea, like they're recruits, they're dumb, they're stupid, blah, blah, blah. They don't know
Right.
anything. Like, bro,
Right.
these kids
Stupid.
are
They're just
looking for
people.
solutions,
They're other
and they
people,
learn
bro.
that they got to find solutions. And it's like,
Right.
I couldn't imagine. I was like, bro, there's no
That they
way
would
that
come
they
up with
made
some shit
something
like
up.
this.
Bro,
Right.
there's been recruit training for there's been recruit training for more than 100 years.
Crazy.
How have I never heard of the night guide?
But you
How was
see,
there?
though, it's probably because we have the internet and stuff like that at our fingertips, so things are just gonna go better, bro. It helps our process, our brain process. You know, these kids having technology at their fingertips, they're going to be smarter than we were at their age
100%. Yeah.
because they just
It's
they
like I
really
was
have
smarter than my dad.
knowledge.
I outsmarted his
Right,
ass.
bro. They
And
have
they
knowledge.
outsmarted me. They're like,
You
yeah,
think
we're just
about
gonna
that shit.
get the night guide.
Bro, you be thinking about that shit too, and you be like, damn, like, and you start to realize too certain things, like, it's certain things I'm catching on to that they may not be knowing, and you start noticing the disconnect, and then it's just be like, like.
It's like all these experts that we call, and they'd be like, I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm like, that's great, Susan. Literally,
Right,
these deals are happening right now.
right.
I'm hitting up this one. I gotta finish this text message because I'm going direct to seller.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, this we got, or that was something you already had.
This is so if you go into the system, this is the very first lead in Podio.
Shit.
This is the very first lead that I ever put in Podio. If you sort the leads, if you sort the follow-up working leads by date created, it's the very first lead that I ever put in Podio. It was put in there back in May. If you go in the follow-up, Oh, bro. Oh, man. I forgot that the music is gonna be in the video. I'm gonna get copyright stricken. Oh.
Oh well.
Oh, well.
You
It'll be good.
It'll be
It'll be
alright.
alright.
can't even hear.
Like crisp music.
Yeah.
Okay. Just talked a few months back about your home in Colombia. See it's still in the market, approaching 3 months mark. Are you guys not getting what you want?
We can't hear
Oh, no.
No.
And bye for discing.
it.
I was out here just vibing to it like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
I can see it in the intro video right now. Back, watch your home.
I forgot how the fuck I made this. It's like with a sim. Then I added that. Oh!
808 at the bend?
Yeah.
In the middle of it.
I put that bitch in, bro. I did it. Oh yeah. I want to show that match my energy because I was trying to make music. I was trying to rap to it. I ain't gonna do that.
Bro, I hate to be the guy like talking about somebody's failures, but man, when I told him about creative finance for this particular deal, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good," blah blah. But we think we're gonna do this other thing. We're gonna list it, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. If it doesn't sell, I'm gonna follow up with you." But blah, man, I'm just like, bro, what happened? It's like, nah, we don't want to do that. We're confident. We're certain we're gonna sell it. Confident. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. I'll see you in 90 days.
Yeah. Did the beat just drop? Hey!
And I just turn away and the beat drop.
That's dope, bro. Damn. That was moving. It's crazy. I don't even listen to my music anymore.
There should be like a part in the middle there, like right after that last part where it just goes to like, like a string, like, and it's like real mellow for a while, and then the beat comes back. Boom. Hey Chris, we talked a few months back about your house in Colombia. I see it's still on market coming up on 90 days. I'm still interested.
I know why Earl like this. Earl, you like this for the different instruments, right? The drum.
Sounds real good in my headset. That he likes the snare most than the drum. I like that switch up. What it was like. Like, oh, where'd that come from? Why you playing backwards?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just getting creative with it. I don't really remember everything how our shit went into it. I don't know, bro. It's been such a minute. Put your bones together. It'll feel good.
Just imagine like some drum line going crazy, like,
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's
like, oh, wait a minute. They used to. Did they have drum lines in Jersey? Where it'd be like, you know, like the drill
bro,
team
we
out,
had
and it'd be like,
yes, bro. We had, bro. Football is such a fucking popular thing for high school and shit. Yes, bro. Yes. Trust
you got
me,
one
like,
dude out there with the vuvuzela.
right.
Don't play it on piano. I like it.
They didn't have it like that with all the big old instruments stuff like that. In the drum line for high school, they had more. They had band dancing.
Yeah.
Like they would be playing songs and shit, and then the girls would be dancing and stuff. But
yeah, there would be days where in Philly, like you have like the drum lines out, bro. You could hear them all through the city, bro. It was like you knew what time it was. They would be like downtown, and you hear them coming for hours, and it was like, bro,
that shit was crazy.
How are they doing this? They were out at the block parties. And then what would usually happen is they would go to like, they would be like they would have like the percussionists out, and then somebody would come out with like a tuba. It's like, where'd you put a tuba, my boy? And then somebody goes like, oh, he got the tuba out. We getting the brass. Let me go get my trumpet. Somebody granddad out there with the trombone, like, brown.
Yo,
like, what granddad is this? It's an actual trombone.
Yo, I'm quiet. Hey, I got my sticks, bro. Hey, you gonna play the beat on the piano? Hey. You got a piano or you gonna get one to learn it? That'll be out.
No, I got a keyboard.
Alright, that's dope.
I just imagine Earl with his like Ray Charles glasses.
Getting that shit.
Bro, you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny?
What?
Okay, I saw a meme. What wasn't the meme? It was what really happened. It was some type of war. Taylor Swift blew a kiss to Stevie Wonder. He couldn't see the shit, so someone who was next to him tapped and said, "Hey, Taylor kisses Will Smith. I kissed you." So he grabbed the air randomly and just blew a kiss back. That shit was so funny. That shit was so funny.
I'm rolling, bro. Why would she do that?
Bro, ain't no way. Bro, there's no way. Somebody was sitting next to him like, oh, hey, Stevie. Miss Swift just blew your kiss. He's like, oh.
Yo, do it to the air. Oh. No.
I don't know why that's so funny, bro. That should not be as funny as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's game time. It's time to call.
Hey, Chris, you talk about you say someone marking about 90 days. Oh, well, you need it?
Ew. I was like, yo, that shit, they trouble crazy.
Well, I figured out the notes. It's not that bad.
I'm over there. I love it. Batchleads.com. Batchleads.com, baby. Oh, this one was hard because it didn't have the property. Oh, God, dog, God, dog. Couldn't find the lead. I think they were low equity. Oh, I think it's in the thing. Let me check. Mm-hmm. 325, 32025.
Can y'all hear that?
Is that you playing?
Yeah, y'all can hear it. Damn.
Can't hear
No. My audio is way too loud in my headset. Hold up.
Turn down a little bit. See.
Are you playing now?
Damn, you still can't hear it. I guess it's my headphones.
Oh yeah, it might be monodirectional. Oh, this is a good one. I need to hit this up, bro. There's no way.
I'll be right back.
Voodoo.
Oh, okay, you can hear it now, I guess.
Yeah, we can hear it now. Do 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 do.
Ba-da, ba-da,
Oh, we need that. We gotta get that.
Ariana, put the address in the chat, please.
Please and thank you. So yeah, the discussion number one is that if they can just go and do a traditional sale and wipe their hands of the sale that way, 9 times out of 10, they should probably do that, right? I never discourage a seller from doing something that might be in their best interest. The odds are, though, if they're entertaining it, that they probably can't do that. So the answer to the second part of the question is that one, the liability, and this is in the disclosures as well as part of the paperwork, right? The liability remains in the seller's name functionally. That does not change, right? The loan that's in their name and the liability associated with that does not change. The discussion that I want you to take the discussion I want you to take forward from there is that it's not good business to have that happen. And so the discussion is that in some way, shape, or form, I don't know the numbers transparently. So, but bear with me for a moment. I would say, look, Mr. Seller, Mr. Agent, whatever the case is, here's the thing, right? I understand you're worried about us defaulting, but let's really talk about what that means. That means that I showed up on day one with $10,000-$15,000 to pay you as the agent and closing costs and get some cash in the seller's pocket. And then you're telling me you're imagining that 5 years from now, I just like disappear off the face of the earth and just give all that money away. Like that's bad business. And I'm not in the business of bad business, right? So the thing that protects you is one, and buying this as a performing asset. That's the point. We're doing our math so that we are making money on the deal. And I don't want to do a deal that doesn't make money. That's like the main point of the conversation. If it's not a performing asset, I'm not going to do the deal. One, I don't want to give you $15,000-$20,000 and walk away in a couple years because whatever. And then on top of that, as a performing asset, there's so many options that we have in the creative space that in order to walk away from this deal, some super crazy, tragic, outlandish alien abduction things have to happen. And that's just not part of my business model. And so this kind of sounds like a non-answer. And functionally, I guess technically it is, right? I'm a public affairs guy, so I'll BS my way through anything. But the fact of the matter is that it's just not good business. So to the realtor, here's what's important. Hey, Mr. and Mr. Seller, here's the thing. If you're concerned about liability, we can really talk about the big picture and what happens, right? What happens if in 5 years from now, I default? Well, the seller got paid, you got paid, there's been loan pay down this entire period. And so to be 100% honest and truthful, and I don't like having the conversation this way, this is like the phrase is word for word, right? The best thing that could happen to the seller realistically is that I default in 5 years, because then they've got 5 years of pay down, they've got 5 years of appreciation, they've got tons more equity, and depending on the deal, if you paid them up front, then they got that money and they got to walk away, and then they could go do it again. But at this time, they'll have even more equity. Did you guys already run numbers on this one at all, Earl?
And so we
Nice.
ran some numbers, but what I would say though, you would
This
need
is a beautiful
specific
property.
information. We would need the
Okay,
mortgage balance. We would need the mortgage payment. Like we don't have that information.
that's fair. But they're entertaining it just as a snapshot. Did you already pull up the like the I mean, presuming that this is validated, right? And I won't get in deep into the weeds, but I'm gonna assume that it's validated and you'll have some of that data. Would you see this? They want to know about terms. Here's what I'm gonna say, be careful. Because what will happen is um the sellers, 9 times out of 10, is that what they'll do is they'll try to milk you for as much information as they can and then try to go for someone else. And so the question is, what value are you providing? If it's just information, it's just transactional. You got to get to the root of what their problem is. They're concerned about liability. It's fair. That's a fair conversation. Why are they concerned about that? Right? Do they have other options? If they have other options, maybe they should take those other options truthfully. And again, this is kind of a conversation for me and how I like to do business. I don't want them to do something that doesn't make sense for them. For a lot of people, we're their only option, we're their only choice. And that's not necessarily to say take advantage of them. That's recognizing the fact of the situation.
Look like we're
So,
the only option. They bought it for 490. They're selling it for
oh
five
yeah.
sixty.
Oh yeah.
6 months
Okay. Yeah.
later or
Snapshot
5 months
math.
later.
It's only 5 months later. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way in 5 months, bro. Was
They
five
gotta
mo-
go.
was
Yada
that
yada.
490 a deal? So why are they moving? Let's break this down. Why are they moving? What's their motivation, Ariana?
They said that pretty much they were a team of investors. They was using it for Airbnb. They actually still have listings right now. And their investors, they've had a bad fallout, so they just want to wipe their hands of it and pretty much go their separate ways. They're actually selling it as is too, with everything inside of it.
So it's a performing asset right now that works, but the team is having a fight and they just need to they want to liquidate it.
Yes, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no
That's
fucking
crazy,
way,
right?
bro. Okay,
Right,
all
that's
right.
crazy.
Sorry,
How'd you
excuse me.
find this?
Is it
We
calling?
called last week.
Damn.
Ariana
Okay.
called.
This is on and it's on market, right? Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's on market.
So yeah, damn, they don't have any. Brother, no. Okay, so this is good. So if that's their pain point and they just want to get out of there, do they have any other motivation outside of that? No timeline item, no other pain? Like the house is performing. You said there's still listings, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there were still listings because the realtor said he hadn't been able to even do any showings because it was still had listings for
Booked
Airbnb.
out? That's
Yes.
crazy. Oh my Lord. Okay, all
It's the
right.
Airbnb rates right now.
That's the one right there.
No, I'll put in the address.
Oh, you did up the thing.
Airbnb is in the area.
Okay. Okay, so it's not showing on there, but that's not necessarily the bad thing because it might be excluded, so you just got to scroll through them. Yeah, so the conversation here, if they're gonna keep it in, what really matters is like who's on title, right? Like how will we even devise this from them? And maybe this is a question for the illustrious Esther, to kind of cue us in on this one, because my questions really is how are they actually holding ownership of this property and how we would have to devise it. I imagine it wouldn't. This is a little bit more than you actually need, Ariana. I've got questions. I got a lot of questions. But if we're just sticking with the main points, to your point, to your question, it's really number one. The number one is that if they have another option, they should go sell it the other way, right? But this is the answer. They bought it at 490 5 months ago, and they're trying to get out at 560. I can almost guarantee you, even if it's a cash flowing asset, they're not going to get 560. It just doesn't make
Right.
sense,
Right.
right? And so not on a traditional in the traditional function. So what
So they
they're
interested
probably
in
looking if they want 560, and I haven't done any math, they can have 560, but they're just not going to get it all at once. They're just not. I would not try to give it to them. It's just not going to happen. And so if they want 560, then we'll have to do our math and they'll have to give us some data. They'll have to give us some numbers so we can go and check, validate that it's a cash flowing asset. There's not some hidden liability that we should be worried about. I'd even want to see the registration rules for the future. And I would say, look, if we were going to buy this, whatever the fees are from the cutoff point, I mean, whatever the cash flow from the cutoff point is, we want that. We want that money immediately. Day one, day zero, we want that. But yeah, it sounds like they're going to have to do some negotiation here, and it's going to be a more in-depth conversation because they have other partners involved. Assuming that they have it structured in the right ways where all these people have some value. Here's what the pain probably is, and just not knowing anything about it, this is what I'm betting. I'm betting that you have two types of partners on this deal. You have silent partners and active partners. The silent partners are probably the ones who lent the money to fund the deal. They want their money back. That's probably the truth of the deal. I don't know though. We'd find out. But at the end of the day, the conversation is what protects them? What's the protector from what keeps them from being liable? No, they will be liable forever until the loan is done. That is a fact. That is the truth, and let's not sugarcoat it. But here's why that's not a big deal. Because if it's a cash flowing asset, it will perform in its best way. It will create the value that would allow it to not be a liability. Even further, if for some reason something were to go south, and there's a couple of things that could go south here, right? Like Airbnb rules changing in the area. Does it work as a long-term rental? That's a note that I'd ask you to write down. That's something that you guys got to validate. I'll leave that to you, Earl, to run through it with her to make sure that it makes sense as a long-term rental, because New
Yeah.
York just changed the rules and they're not allowing any of those short-term rentals, or they're changing some rules in New York, and I suspect that there's a bunch of other places that are going to have those changes. So from a liability perspective, and I'm risky, right? But from a liability perspective, does it work as a long-term rental? Does it work as a midterm rental? Are there even operations out in that area that could work? And if short-term rental is the only way it works, then that means they're in an even worse position, which in theory could be really good for us or somebody who we decided to, right? Because somebody's got a higher enough risk tolerance. That's not a question. And so all that goes to say is really just 2 points, like I said. Stage one, if they have other options and they want to sell on market, then let them try to sell for 560. We'll check back in with them in 30, 60, 90, 120 days when it's still on market and they've dropped it by 30, 40 grand, right? That's a cool thing because we're not in a rush for it. Time is on our side. Good on the first part?
Yes.
Cool. And then the second point is that the liability will remain wherever it currently is vested, whether that's in the entity or it's a personal guarantee. I don't know whose name the loan might be in. It doesn't necessarily matter. People whose name the loan is in, whoever those signers are, they will still have a liability. But the fact of the matter is that if it's cash flowing and it's performing as it is right now, well, hopefully it will continue to cash flow and perform in the future. And so it doesn't make good business sense in general. You pay for cash flow, spend all this time paying it down, and then just give it up. And then, although that's not a good business sense for us, if that was to happen, it is arguably the best case scenario. Because what they would have is they would have gotten paid up front. Everybody involved would have gotten paid. We would have showed up with however much the numbers required. And then they would get the property back with pay down, with appreciation. And then they could probably actually sell at 560. Or they could go sell it creatively again and collect a big upfront chunk and hope that somebody else defaults. Right?
So how far did you get into the conversation with them, again?
Just that question right there. So he just told me to get on the call him back, and he's just gonna ask the questions that they're concerned about, and then he's gonna go from there.
Okay.
So he wants to call him back.
So he's saying so he's ready to move. Yeah, we're gonna have to
ring him
on the phone. Yeah.
Here, let me
add Paris to the call.
Ariana, let me give you my phone number. And so this is the way I want you to frame this. Or unless Earl, I don't mean to take over your deal, bro. Do you want to run it or you want me to hit this one, Earl?
You got it.
All right, perfect. Ariana, let me give you my
It
phone
don't
number.
matter. Hey, it don't matter who
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah. You
know
know,
what I'm saying?
it's all going
It
to the
don't
same
matter.
place.
Right.
Ariana, let me give you my phone number. Let me know when you're ready to take it down.
Okay.
All right. So you can have them call me at 910-378-0552. And what we can do is you can let them know. You can call them back and say, "Hey, my partner Paris, that's me. I'm Paris. My partner
And she
Paris.
already sent your information to him, so he already knows you.
Oh, perfect. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I just talked to Paris. He's ready. Oh, snap. Why'd you do that? You didn't tell me that. Bro, just dial him up.
When
Yeah,
we send the
let him know.
LOI.
Perfect. So there you go. So hey, my partner Paris, he's also a realtor, blah, blah, blah. He wants to get on the phone. He'll run through these details with you. Any questions they have, I'll answer them. And then you'll kind of get a feel for how I kind of dodge some of the pitfalls because they'll be like, yeah, just send the offer over. LOI is good enough, right? And I'm like, I could totally do that, man. You already got it. So he already has an LOI, right?
I sent that.
Can you forward the LOI to me, please?
Yes.
Just so that I know what we're looking at as a snapshot.
Can you
It's not even important. Yeah, I'll
what's
drop
your
my email in
email?
the chat. I got
Okay.
you. pcapers@wildhouseinc.com. It's not even that important, but I want to make sure that I'm presenting a unified front. And so I can speak to the numbers that you've already presented. And this is again without knowing anything. As far as the LOI, they didn't give you like the mortgage statement or anything like that.
No. So he pretty much what another thing he mentioned, he said they have a lot of different offers, but we were the only offer that presented almost at the value that they're looking for.
Yeah, that
So
makes
I'm
sense.
definitely getting hit with some low balls.
Right. Well, it's not that it's low balls, it's that it's appropriate value for cash like deals, but we're not looking at cash. Here's the secret, right? And here's something, this is fun, right? The price when we're talking about terms doesn't matter. The price is made up. The price only matters in the sense that they feel like it matters. And you're gonna see me have this conversation with them. I'm not even gonna tell them. I'm gonna say that same thing in a different way. But like we're coming in at 560, but we're not showing up with $560,000. We're just gonna make sure that they get the equivalent value of $560,000. And so if I just do a snapshot here, 560. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to push for. 560 minus 560 times 0.92 is 515, and then they bought at 490, right? So if they sell at 560, that means they walk away with 25 grand. So that tells me that they want 25 grand in their pocket. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't know if the deal makes sense at 25 grand, but right now that's less than 10% entry fee. Right. And then if I do, let me see, what's 560 times point, assuming it's 0.08. So that's 44 plus 25. So that's 69. That's almost 70 grand between the agent and the sellers. And that's without any assignment fee. So what I can tell you right now is either they're not going to get anything up front, or we're going to waive the buyer side commission, which gives us half of that capital back, about 22 grand. So there's enough space in here, in theory. But the numbers, I don't even like to do these numbers right now. I just want to talk to them and answer their questions, add value, and then we go from there. Cool. So you got my number. This is what we can do. I'd like you to call him. Let him know, hey, we're gonna get the team. My Paris is gonna be here on the line. I'm gonna dial him in. He's ready to talk to you. I have nothing on the calendar. Let me make sure before I make a liar out of myself. And I'll speak. I'll run through any questions that he has, any concerns that he has, and then we'll take it from there. Cool.
Yes. So what time do you want me to do this? Or do
I'm
it
ready
right
right
now?
now. I'm ready
Okay.
right now. Are you ready? Are you ready to do
Yeah,
it?
I'm ready.
Yeah. You hit him up because you just talked to him today, right?
Yeah, just now.
Hell yeah. Like, hey, I just got off the phone with you. I called my partner Paris. He said he's ready to talk to you right now. And so I'm ready to go and get. And you can just ring
Okay.
me up. You got my number?
Yeah.
910-378-0552. You can ring me right up. And then just so you know, you don't have to tell him this, but just so you know, the way that my audio is set up is that everybody will be able to hear it. So once you ring us in, don't join the Zoom because you'll be able to hear everything twice, and that'll mess you up.
Okay. And I just sent you that LOI. Did you get
I
it?
see it. I got it. Let me pull that bad boy up. There she is. I see this. Oh, okay. Okay. So your cash to seller was 20 grand, all closing costs and commission. Damn, okay. All right, then y'all made a good deal here. You're entertaining it?
I'm crying.
Hey, call this motherfucker up. Let's make some money.
Do this shit.
Transaction
Okay, I'm
engineer.
What'd
That's
you say?
Earl, my boy Earl.
Transaction
not
engineer.
Say it one more time, Earl.
Transaction engineer.
Transaction engineering. There he is.
Right.
All right, hit it up. Let's get one on the table for Esther. Esther, you still out there?
Earl.
That's good. It's at 6%. I need to know what the monthly payment is.
Right.
And that's one thing that's missing
so-
here.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
mean,
good.
Yeah, that's good and everything, but you don't get that, then it may not. You need to know how.
No, well, it still works. It still may work. Oh no, it says monthly payment 23.85.
Yeah, that's the
It's
estimate.
approximate though.
Yeah.
You got the little wiggle.
Yeah, we've actually the little wiggle. It's crazy. Here we go. Hello, this is Power speaking.
Hi, Paris. This is Ariana.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Awesome. I can hear you good.
Okay, so I'm about to merge the call. The realtor name is Alejandro. He's the
Alejandro?
one that's over the deal. Yes.
All right. Cool. Let's do
Okay,
it. Hit it.
I don't know what's wrong with this phone. Hello?
This is Paris is here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know why my phone is not letting me merge now. These iPhones.
Every time. Slimmy every day. No, you're good. Do what you gotta do. Ring them up. I'm here for you.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to hang up and retry it because I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with the phone.
All good. Sounds good.
Dear Alejandro. It's out. We did that. Earl set her up. Hey.
Damn. That's
Boy.
good. That's
Great.
awesome. All right. Ariana, can you hear me?
It's still not working.
It's still not working?
So, you want to go by this a different way? Maybe you call him and then
Yeah.
you merge me because I don't know what's wrong with the phone.
Let me get his number.
Okay.
What's Alejandro's number?
Okay, his number is 954
954
573
573
3534.
3534 954 573 3534, right? Is that right? All right, I'm gonna go add him in here. Let's get weird. Ariana, you still there? Ariana, you still there? Ariana. Looks like, there we go. Ariana, is Paris. Can you hear me? Ariana? Ariana, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Ariana, can you hear me? Let me do this.
Hello?
Ariana, can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna
you can go ahead and add
yeah.
him.
All right, cool. I'm gonna dial him up. 954 573 3534.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Alejandro.
Yes, Alejandro.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Alejandro, this is Paris. Can you hear me?
Hey, Paris. Yeah, I hear you. How's it going?
I'm pretty good, brother. We're having some technical difficulty here, man. Ariana, can you hear me on your side?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, so nailed it. All good. Hey, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you taking my call today. Ariana gave me the scoop. She said you had some questions about the property over on 25th Street. Is this still a good time to chat?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So I want to go through some background stuff, but to be 100% honest here, this is more so for me to answer any questions you have and kind of go over any concerns that you may have for your client. So background about me, I don't know how much Ariana told you, but I'm a realtor out here in North Carolina. I'm a Marine veteran, so I deal with VA loans and things like that. That's kind of my specialty. Myself and my team, we're attacking all kinds of different properties for investment properties, making them short-term, long-term, and mid-term rentals. I mean, we do a whole number of things. And then this one is one that we have in our pipeline. Ariana happened to be the acquisitions manager for this particular one. And as I'm looking at
Right.
the stat sheet here, we're looking at a possible sub two. I will tell you before we start, I'm looking at some of the data. There's some things that we have to validate, but before we even get to that point, I just want to talk to you about what exactly we're doing, how it might help your seller, and figure out if we're a good fit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. So she said you had some questions. Let's start with that. What questions might you have for me?
Yeah, so my sellers were asking as far as um they so they put it on the market. They're brothers, and they they play hockey, and basically they moved from Florida to the state that they're gonna be playing hockey at now, right?
Okay.
And they bought this property. It's been going great for them. However, they can't really um, be. They want an investment property where they're located now.
Okay, so
Okay.
they were self-managing, is that right? Something like
Pretty
that.
much.
Okay.
Pretty
All right.
much.
Very
Yeah.
well.
And they would stay there. They basically bought it because they would stay there when they would not be traveling, right? So they
That
would
makes
have it
sense.
blocked off on the dates where they would be playing home, right? So now that he got switched to another state, um, it it doesn't make sense for them to keep it here, right?
Fair
So
enough.
that's why we put it on the market. The only reason it's been on the market so long is because 80% of the time when somebody wants to go check it out, it's booked. It's booked on the weekends. I haven't done one open house. And I spoke to Ariana. She was very nice. She explained, that she had some questions. I answered it for her. Um, and she said, okay, well, we're going to put something together for you guys.
Yep.
And she went ahead and sent over the offer, right? So after reviewing the offer with the clients, they had a couple questions because, this isn't very traditional. I know that a lot of companies are doing this now because they don't want to acquire the interest rate that is now. They rather acquire the interest rate from when the sellers bought it, which was a pretty good rate, rather than them investing on a whole new property, instead of paying cash, financing it, and with the interest rate going on right now, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, so it kind of helps both parties as far as you acquiring the property and them getting rid of it. However, their questions were, let's say that you guys didn't make the payments, would after you guys obtained the property and you guys didn't make the payments, how would that work?
Yeah, so fantastic question. So I gotta say one, before I even go into it, I gotta tell you, man, I'm a realtor and I talk to a number of realtors about these things, and your understanding of it is absolutely spot on. And I just want to say I appreciate you for being
Yeah.
here and having this conversation because it is more often than not, you believe it or not, it is more often than not as fun a conversation. So
It
I
makes
hope
me
that this is good
smile.
for both
It
of us,
brings me
right?
joy.
It makes me smile,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, and you know what? I work with a lot of off market properties. So maybe this is a start to a good
Oh yeah,
relationship.
Alejandro, come on, man. The last question I'm always going to ask you is what else we got in the pipeline, right? But let me
Tell
not
them we
skip
got
ahead, right?
tell them we got the group too.
Yeah,
Right,
my
right.
my team is over on Zoom right now. They're hanging out, and we were in there every day. And so I told them, I told them we were coming over here to work on some business, and they are always
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
ask like, "Hey, did he have any other deals?" But anyway, so really good question, right? Your question is what happens if somehow like we get abducted by aliens, I fall off a cliff, or I like drown while I'm out in Fiji or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
And so the real conversation is, and one, a lot of this information is in the disclosures that we use that are vetted and battle tested through the lawyers and all the processes that we use when we go through escrow, right? So we do these transactions through escrow. Over here on the on North Carolina side, we use Harry Marsh, but what we have with that relationship is we actually have a fantastic network of relationships with escrow officers across the country, right? Because that's what is important to us. I need title companies that understand what we're doing, that aren't going to mess it up, and we've got a black and white list, right? So that's one part of that. Within the documents,
yeah,
what's outlined is number one, and I always put this one up front, transparently, the black and white statement is that the liability of the borrower does not disappear. And anybody who tells you that it does is not telling you the truth. And this is like super important to me because that's how I run my business and that's what I teach my team, right? The liability does not disappear transparently. However, we mitigate it through a lot of ways, right? So stage one, just from a business perspective, right? I've got the snapshot of the LOI, and I'm just going to say it as plainly as I can. My business model does not include showing up to escrow with $44,000, paying you as the realtor, paying all the closing costs and transfer tax and excise fees, and putting 20 grand in the seller's pocket, and then defaulting. Right? Like, there's a reason why that doesn't make sense. We can go through the business function within that, but it doesn't hold water, right? The one of the part of the
right.
process for us is validating all the information that you and your clients have provided us to be true remains to be true, and then we still have other options. So right now, it's a short-term rental. Transparently, I haven't pulled all the numbers on that rental. That's part of our qualification process. Not going to get into the weeds there, but we validate not only the short-term rental options, but we also look at mid and long-term rental options in the event like like New York did very recently, where they changed the rules on short-term rental. I can't have that happen, right? My system accounts for those things to make sure that if something goes wrong, we're mitigating those things, right? So number one, that business to show up with 44 grand and then just not do what I said I was going to do. Um, it's just not part of my model and it doesn't make sense. It's not going to happen that way. Right. But, take it with a grain of salt. Who's to say? Two, we make sure that we
Yeah,
have other exit strategies if for some reason the main platform that we're looking at, in this case, short-term rental, is no longer viable, right? We have relationships with insurance companies where I mean, I won't belabor the point. We have a number of strategies that we use as investors to make sure that this property is going to work where it is, right? So that's point number two. And really, number three, the main point that I'd like to have you take back to your clients, or depending on your comfort level, we can set up a follow-on conversation, have all of us get on the phone and talk through this a little bit more in depth. Here's the real, no joke, straight conversation. The way that I always try to frame it is it's arguably the best case scenario for your clients that I don't do what I said I'm going to do. Imagine for a second that I show up to escrow with my 44 grand. I pay you off. I pay off all the escrow officers. Your clients get their 20 grand. Fast forward 5 years, I don't show up for my dive in Fiji. And we somehow, some way, we've got other systems involved because we have servicing companies and things like that. The way that we structure it is to avoid this. But let's just say somehow, some way, all those systems failed and we defaulted, right? Process that then
yeah,
follows, right, which is outlined in the documents, is effectively we would go through the process. You would go through the process of having the property returned to your clients. What would happen then is that they will have had all the persons that are involved in this transaction paid. They got paid $20,000. In this particular instance, let's say that it had been 5 years. They're now leveraging the advantage of the loan pay down for the entirety of the time that I've been paying it, as well as the appreciation over time. So now they would have a much better likelihood of just selling it outright traditionally at that 560 mark, right? And so all that goes to say is that in most instances, and I don't like framing this when I'm talking directly to sellers, but realtor to realtor, I can just say it this way. It's arguably the best case scenario that I don't do what I said I'm going to do, because they got paid up front. They got a chunk of money that they really wanted, right? That they needed in many cases. All the fees and costs were accounted for, and they didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. As long as the numbers make sense as far as the cash flow and structures right there, like it's a deal for me if the numbers make sense. And I'll tell you straight up,
Right.
once we get through some of the finer points into the tax situation and the net operating income and all the other things, I'll tell you honestly, if it's not a deal, my team won't do it. Right. If it doesn't fit into my portfolio as we're looking for our return on investment and things like that, we're just not going to do it. And I'll be able to communicate that to you. My team can make sure that gets across to you to make sure that for you as a realtor, you would be able to arguably take this and then market it to other investors with a much better understanding of what we're looking at, right? You said you have a bunch of off-market properties. Sounds like you're probably working with a bunch of investors already. If you don't have that marketing machine, transparently, like it's copy and paste for us. We have these tools and say, hey, Alejandro, this doesn't work for us. Here's a snapshot. Go forth and prosper, my guy. Like this doesn't work for us, but you can have these numbers because it doesn't do anything for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the
Okay.
three main ways that I address that conversation.
Now,
One, it's just bad business, man.
question.
Go ahead, please.
Question. Do we need to enter contract before seeing all those numbers?
So what I would say is that there's a couple ways that we can do it. What I would prefer is that, I'll turn it back over to my acquisitions team because I don't like to snatch anything off their plate. I'll turn it back over to my acquisition team. What they'll get from you and your team is a few more digits, right? We need to validate the actual monthly payment. And so usually that's a mortgage statement. It'll show the monthly payment, it'll show the principal, interest, taxes, insurance. It'll also show the actual mortgage balance. And then because it is a cash flowing property, what we'd like to see is something along the lines of like a payoff or a forecast from Airbnb. That's usually how some of our other sellers have presented that, right? Not saying that someone's not telling the truth, but we have to validate that information. You know what I mean?
No, of course, I understand.
And so what we'd be looking for, and we have a little checklist that we can get over to your team, but we'd be looking for those main things, right? One, that mortgage statement that include all the payoff information, et cetera, right? The interest rate and validating those things. In the past, we've had sellers show up and find out that it's a 3-arm with 1 year until the readjustment period. It's like, we did not talk about that, right?
Yes.
But yeah, what we would do is we would take that information, we would crunch the numbers, and we would make sure that the numbers that you're looking for and the way that we presented our offer, it still holds valid, right? And the letter of intent that Ariana provided, it's an estimate based on our estimated assessment of the situation. The better information we have, the better offer we're going to be able to get. And if the numbers make sense, once we get all those things, that's it, man. We'll put together the formal offer, and then we can go forth from there and get under contract. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much. I would like a breakdown of the checklist. I would also like pretty much I know that you guys need a mortgage statement to verify that the interest rate, taxes and mortgage and it's pretty black and white.
Yes.
However, it's always better on paper and so we could review it and see if it makes sense for us as well.
For sure. And the discussion point is that nothing happens until we're under contract in the bigger picture, right? At this stage, really, it's
Right.
information gathering. And the true conversation that I like to have with the realtors is this, that honestly, honest to goodness, my discussion is this, right? Your clients listed it on market. And so they have an intent to sell. It's obvious, it's visible. If depending on the structure, if we have to go forward, what I like to explain is until our offer is here and obviously you already know, right? Until we present, it's accepted and returned to us, then there's nothing. What I always like to say in that space is that time, unfortunately, is not on the seller side in certain circumstances like this. And so what I'd like to do is, like I said, we gather as much information as we can, we take it, we put it forward. If your sellers are having hesitation, you've got my number now. You can call me back, right? I'm not going to take anything from Ariana. I'm always going to push it back to my acquisitions team because that's what they get paid the big bucks for, right? But if you have questions as far as like the process and structure, it's my jam. I'm a transaction engineer. This is my machine. And then if
Right.
we decide to go forward with it, then we'll do that. But what I want to avoid is this, and I'll be completely transparent. What I hate to have happen is that I'll have a conversation with another realtor and sometimes seller, but more often than not, this is the realtor space. As I recognize because of your fiduciary, your responsibility is to your client. Get it. I'm not trying to get involved in that one bit. I understand that you want to wait and give them as much time to get other offers. I get that. But here's the thing. My team is looking to smash 6 deals a month, point blank, period. And so with our funds, we can always raise more money. But really what we're looking at is we're looking forward that next month and we're forecasting those funds. So depending on where you guys are sitting and how long you're waiting, we might end up in a position where we've already spent the funds and we're halfway through the month. We're looking at about 3 more is what I'd like to hit. I mean, we'll see what happens. Oh, so yeah, no pressure. We'll get the information, we'll put the offer together. If we can go forth, and we'd love if you could take it back to your client. How do you guys normally do you have dual agency with this particular client team?
Yeah. So I
Perfect.
would represent the buyer and the seller.
Awesome, fantastic. Yeah, we can definitely put that forward in terms of making sure that the representation is mutual across the board, and then add a little bit more commission on there to make sure that you're not getting overworked. It's got to be worth your time as well. But yeah, all those things will come with the actual documents, and really, it's all based on the numbers. Like, that's just it. So I know on the LOI that we put forward in there, I believe that showed what's your commission split on this one? What were you earning on the seller side?
5%.
5%. Okay, so 2.5, 2.5. Okay, so I think I will run the numbers at 5, and if we can put more in there, then yeah, it'll make sense. My position in this is that if I can make money, if my team can make money, if I can make sure people like Ariana get paid, if I can feed all these families, make sure your family's taken care of, get the sellers what they need, nothing can stop me. And that's
Right.
what I want to do here.
Yeah. No, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Whenever you got a chance, just send over what you need from us. I'm not sure if that's a part of the checklist, but send that over, and we'll review it. I'll let them know about our conversation, and we can go from there.
Easy. Before I let you go, what else you got in the pipeline, man? So you said you have a lot of off-market properties. What else you got?
Oh yeah. I work with a lot of off-market investors and a lot of fix and flips and multifamily investment properties. Yeah, I mean, you name it.
Okay. Anything coming up
I
right
just
now
don't
that
deal
might?
with
Oh, I'm
I
sorry,
just
please.
don't deal with any foreclosures. But yeah, no, we have a ton of stuff right now.
Really? Okay. How are they moving? Do you have anything that's been sitting too long, or somebody with some frustration, some serious motivation?
Honestly, Jake, it's South Florida,
Yeah.
and these properties don't last. These properties don't last. I mean, it's it's literally gone in a couple of days. Off-market properties,
So
there's
these
so many hungry investors ready to fix and flip. There's no inventory down here, and the market is, the economy is getting worse, but the market down here keeps going up, somehow. And it's all due to low inventory, and you know how that happens. If there's
Oh
low
yeah.
inventory,
Yeah. It
then
offsets all the other
it's a free.
issues for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's say if the interest rates do come down, it'll only get crazier.
For sure, for
you
sure,
know,
for
so
sure.
so so I do have a bunch of off-market properties. However, I can't guarantee how long they'll be there, because I literally have about 300 investors that I have their information, and these off-market properties go out to every single one of them every single day, as they come out. So, if if I send you something, I'm sure that you guys can just start accumulating data and kind of seeing how things go. But yeah, I mean, they just don't last too long. I had one point it was a $2.1 million 19 unit multiplex in Hollywood, right next to downtown Hollywood. Went and did a video tour, put it on social media. It's already under contract,
I
you
love
know,
that.
and just like that one, we have other ones for around 400,000, 500,000, you know, different price points. So you let me know what
Good.
price points you're looking at, and I'll send you what we got.
So, you know, we buy across the entire spectrum. I think the only time that we really won't buy something if it's like after repair value at the 150 space, right? But within
Right.
there, right? My question is, how are you pushing those out? Are those emails? Are you shooting out individual texts? What's your machine, man? Because I'm interested in
Oh,
all
I
of it,
have,
right? We have
I have,
buyers across the spectrum, specifically in the multifamily space, right? I've got some very hungry multifamily buyers that we're trying our best to feed, you know?
so basically, I've been able to, from my time in the real estate game, I've been able to um, acquire all these phone numbers, and they're all in a group chat. You know, I have them all in a group chat, and I just send out what I have available, and you know, whoever bites bites, and it's pretty much an ongoing thing. So everything gets placed under contract. I mean, there's nothing in our inventory that sits.
I love it.
Everything goes,
Yeah,
you know.
for
So
sure.
uh, yeah,
Okay,
I mean
so
that's much where I'm at.
easy. Okay, so let's do this. So right now you have this is my direct office line, right? So my team can see this chat and whatnot. This is always observed, and so that's one item. I'll drop my email in this chat as well, so you also have that. If you put me in a group chat, I'm not going to panic. What I'd like to do is I'd also like to get my lead acquisition specialist in there as well, but you know we can follow up on that. But yeah, what I'll do is we'll get that spreadsheet, we'll get that checklist over to you for this particular property. We'll get this one knocked out and ready to go. And I think with all that you gave me, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Um, we can do a lot of things, and I think that the discussion within that is I because you understand the way the structure goes, right? What we can do is we can continue this conversation another time and start to explore how those creative functions work. Because here's my position, realtor to realtor. What's really funny to me is that there are so many people who are hesitant to move forward with creative structures and terms and things like that. But what I found is that in situations like this, for example, I can be much more flexible and give the sellers a much better deal, comparatively speaking, more cost effective with their time and their resources, where they can get the numbers that they need by giving us the flexibility that we need and avoiding the headache of 30, 60, 90 days on market. And then what I will say, one final point is that there's definitely a lot of inventory moving out in Florida, right? We're definitely seeing it. But I can also tell you this, that my team is definitely still snatching up deals that have been are early up in the listing stage, right? But you know,
Right.
that's just a that's a kind of a big picture thing. No, brother, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop
Likewise.
from here, get together with the rest of the crew. We'll get that checklist out to you. Let me get an email for you before I go. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, it's Alejandro, Alejandro,
Mhm.
C as in car, realtor at gmail.com.
Okay, so that's Alejandro, Alejandro, C as in Charlie, realtor,
Yes,
traditional spelling, at gmail.com.
correct.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. I'm gonna drop my chat. I'm gonna drop my email here in the chat, and then you can add me to that. You can add me to that chat as soon as you get an opportunity. I really appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, no worries, Jake.
Easy.
It's a pleasure, and let's see what we can make from here. Okay.
Yeah. Before I go, it's Paris, like the city in France, right? Lock me in as Paris, your number one favorite sub two investor. I
Sounds
hope to
good,
earn
and I
that title.
look forward. Yeah, and I look forward to getting, a little bit more information about the creative financing that you guys do,
Or for the group.
and just kind of getting a breakdown. That way, it's easier for me to present this to any
Hit it with
investors
that.
or
Well,
any
actually,
off-market deals that we come across that might not want to, sell to a cash buyer and want to take this, opportunity as well. Okay.
For sure. You got me on a tangent there. So we do two side things, right? So one, my team and I, we have a live Zoom that we're on every single day, from about 8:30 until about 4 o'clock, and then we have another block after hours called no pay hours. I can drop that link. You're welcome to drop in. We're constantly talking about investment functions, creative finance. We do transactional engineering, like live on the spot. We have a bunch of people who come in and drop deals off, and we'll crunch the numbers live. And then also, if you're interested, I don't know what the structure within your brokerage is. However, one of the things that I do in my pursuit in real estate is my goal right now is to educate other realtors on these functions, right? I come together, I'll host a seminar with your brokerage if that's how you'd like to pursue it. And so what we
Right.
would do is we'd go over some of these entry and exit strategies and really break down some of the finer points of what we're talking about, so that when somebody calls a listing that your brokerage has listed, and they're asking for the mortgage statement and the big checklist of the things that we're looking for to validate that opportunity, one, it's not a shock to the
Correct.
system and they don't panic. And then two, that we can help other agents and other realtors understand how you can maintain your fiduciary to your client in the highest best form while leveraging investors. Because as a creative finance investor for my team, transparently, what I want to have happen is that when they call a realtor and they say, I understand what number you need, I can get the net to your seller that they need if they're willing to help me with terms, and then demystifying that process. What I would love to do, I'm not sure if you're your broker in charge, or if you're one above that. But what I would love to do is follow up with you, have that conversation, and see how we might be able to align, have a seminar with your brokerage. More often than not, that's free, right? I do a small coaching program, but the conversation from me to the brokerage in most cases is free, because I want my team to be able to call your agents. You know what I mean?
Right. I got you. Yeah. So let's stay in contact and we'll go from there, Jake. Okay.
All right, brother. You have a great day, man.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Give me one moment, Ariana. I'm gonna give you a call right back. Oh, you still
Okay.
there? You
Well,
still there?
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just gonna go into the Zoom.
Okay, yeah, I'll see you over there.
hold on.
All right, bye-bye.
Boy,
You ain't talking about
Paris,
the group.
stop playing with that boy Paris. Stop playing with that boy Paris.
You're
You know what I'm
outrageous.
saying, bro?
Can't have nothing nice. Can't have nothing
Bro, I'm
nice in
over
this
here
place.
orchestrating this shit, bro. Into the heart.
All right, first things first.
Finna lock up some
Ariana in
shit.
there? All right. Ariana, you in here? There she is. Hey,
Rihanna finna lock
set that
some
man
shit
up. Set that man up. Set that man up.
up.
All right. So we'll get into some of the mechanics of the machine, but first things first, let's get what we owe, right? So my bad making promises for things that we didn't have, but we definitely need that checklist of the items that we need for a sub-2 deal, right? Excuse me.
This is good. This is good because we
So,
need this for
yeah, that's good.
realtors too.
100%.
Go into our
100%.
group. You didn't tell them about the group.
Which group? Oh, I'll tag him. We'll tag him in it.
Tell them about.
Yeah. I gotta get his last.
Actually, we
Actually, no, you're
that's
right.
what I
I
said.
should have. When you said the group, I was thinking of Zoom. But no, you nailed it. Okay,
I'm
yeah, we'll
talking
follow up
about
with him.
That's for them.
Hey, man, he's probably on Facebook. That's
Right.
further
We can
down.
always add
So
him.
let's get this right. So I think that I already have the document with the header and stuff. I already have a header. I'm gonna share the I'm gonna share this with them. Sorry, I got sidetracked. What is this now? What is that? Was that Ariana? Oh, okay. Wait, maybe.
Oh, am I loud?
Oh no, I
my
heard
background?
somebody in your background.
Yes. Okay, I'll be.
Esther, I saw you put your hand up. Did you have something for the team?
Well, I just wanted to I was reaching out, and there's this dude that I was talking to a couple days before I spoke with you, and he's kind of doing the agent outreach as well. And I was like, hey man, I might got a guy who's like, he's big on team and systems. Maybe, you can do a possible integration. So
Because it looks like he's trying to start a team as well.
But I figure
Give
if
him
he
the
wants to,
Zoom.
yeah,
Put
that's
him
what I'm
in
saying. I didn't know
here.
if you wanted to just share the link or what.
Bro,
Already got
100% of the
man.
time. Chris, can you drop the link? 100%. 100% of the time, you have 100% permission. And I'm begging you. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that you do. You share our link and you share our team with anybody who's willing to come over here, and the team will just take them in.
Yeah.
But
All right,
yeah,
cool.
absolutely. What the heck? Like, do you want to work with people? Check yes or no. Oh, Luke, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me stop getting sidetracked. Ariana, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this together for him. I have his email. We'll add that in Podio. We'll add that to the thing in Podio. In fact, Chris, would you do me a solid? One thing that's missing right now, actually, let me back up. Earl, one thing that's missing right now is the leads not in Podio. And so I was gonna create it, but I was also sidetracked. Would you be able to create the lead and then we'll populate the information in there when we get an opportunity?
Hey,
And I'll
Luke
give you
Esther,
the
I just put the link in the chat.
heck yeah. Alejandro C Realtor at gmail.com. Alejandro C Realtor at gmail.com. Cool, that's him. That's him. So let's go make this thing. Let me go get my header. But yeah, so Ariana, what we'll do is we'll shoot this over to him. I think that what I'll probably do is I'll make this a PDF and then I'll also make it just like a JPEG so you can send it via text. So that as we go forward and we're having these conversations with realtors, we should be like, hey, this is what I need. Boom, here's a picture. No question, no statement has to be made. This is the thing. This is what we need. And then I'll send it to you. We'll drop it so that you have access to it. And then any conversations you have in the future, you can just send that to them. Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Cool. Hey, you got them ready. You got them hot and ready, Little Caesars. I heard you were a killer on the phones. I didn't know it was like that
He was
though.
like, get him, Ari.
Who's your next call, girl?
Yep. And that's my first call, believe it or not. Since I
Shut the
joined
front
the
door. Ain't no way that was your first call, girl. You playing?
happened?
Stop
You have a
playing. You
support
ain't got a
system?
lot to kick it, Craig. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Awesome.
That script, boy.
Yeah, my goodness. Earl was over here. Like, let me just take the brakes off. Pick off the brakes. We don't need training wheels. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. Make the first phone call. I love it. I love it.
Like this when we meet realtors and stuff like this. That's what I was saying. That's why
That's
we
good.
need a system to be
Yeah,
able
he
to
needs
put
he's
him
definitely
in.
one that we got to put in the system. We'll
Right.
probably make an app. I heard a new joint. Who's that? Hello. Alex, can you hear
What's
us?
up, man?
How's it going, everyone?
There it
Oh
goes.
man,
That's my man Alex. He's doing big
Brr, brr,
things,
brr,
man.
brr. What's up,
How's it
man?
going?
I love that chair, bro. That chair, though. Let me see that.
Right.
What do you got
It's
going on
hella
here, my
comfortable,
boy?
bro.
It's the play of
Bro,
corner.
you're not gonna come in here with a nice chair, Alex, with a nice chair. No, what's going on, brother? I'm Paris. Welcome to the party.
How's it
So I'm
going?
kind of sidetracked right now, and so I'm gonna break contact just for a little bit. I have something that I owe one of the realtors for a deal that one of our acquisitions managers hit up. But Luke told me that you're doing good stuff. Are you a realtor or are you doing agent outreach?
Agent outreach.
Agent outreach. Okay, man. Hey, I'm a system guy. I'm an integrator. I like to make stuff up, and I'm surrounded by people who love what they do. And so, what I would love to do is talk with you about what we got going on. I'll pass you off to one of our three big hats. Right, Chris is our cash killer. Chris Dodd, say what's up. What's up?
What's up, man? How you
He's in
doing?
there somewhere. There he is. Earl, I believe Earl is probably making a call right now, which is crazy because he was just here. And then Aaliyah is our admin manager, our admin director. And so those are the three big partners in the team right now. I'm gonna break contact for a minute so I can make something for Ariana so she can go punch this agent in the face, and then we'll come back over here. Cool.
And if you gotta go soon,
yeah,
man, because I know you said you had a timeline. Just the Zoom's always here, so just feel free to drop back in whenever.
Luke over here holding it down. Yeah, save that link. It's persistent. So we're here from first. Give them the scoop. We're here every day, and then we're here after hours too.
Every day, man.
Let them know.
Like
I'll be right back.
9 to like 5, and then after hours is 8 to whenever, bro. Whenever it just goes on.
Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. You gotta tell people. I always forget, bro.
Dog
People
say
be coming in here hella early. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you in Alaska showing up at like 2 a.m.? Dude, you tripping.
That's funny.
Yeah, Alex,
Awesome,
man,
awesome.
you say you do agent outreach. What do you like to like? What are you into? Sub
Yes.
2 or cash?
Yeah, so we're just mainly focusing on sub 2 right now.
Okay.
In the future, maybe start looking at more cash deals, but really just want to focus on one right now and see how far it could take me.
Right. So what you been doing? Pulling out no equity list, huh? And that
Yes,
Kevin
sir.
Show.
That Kevin show. That Kevin show. No, that's good, man. That's good.
Sorry.
Pulling that Kevin. Oh yeah, bro. He been doing it. He been
Oh,
doing it. Bye, guys. So
There he is. Earl's back.
uh,
Back again.
I've
bro,
been
what
here.
you
I'm
doing,
on a
bro?
lead laptop.
Where'd you go? Oh, he just wasn't talking. He was like, I'm not talking. I'm too good for
What's
this.
talking? I guess
Oh,
y'all
I
did.
couldn't hear you, bro. You were muted.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I need to get shit ready for Nicole. I want to have a whole thing I do with her.
There's a folder that we were loading up with the stuff. And so this is really helpful, right? So what you can kind of do, I'm getting sidetracked, but what you can kind of do is go through some of the things with Alex, right? Hey, Alex, what are your goals, man? What are you trying to get after? What are you trying to do?
Right.
What resources and tools do you have so we can kind of professionalize? Alex, you're kind of watching us grind the meat as we go, right? So we've got a pretty good, robust team with some diverse skills. I'm a system guy, like I said, so we have some systems in place that we're looking to make it feasible for people to snap into. But tell the team a little bit about what you got. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna ask all the same questions again because I'll be distracted. But tell us about what you're doing, man. Like, what do you know, where are you putting your leads? What CRMs are you using, or how are you dialing? How are you texting? What's your structure? Do you follow the Hormozy method for agent outreach? Are you looking more at the like way of the wolf, the Sandler submarine? What's your approach, man?
yeah,
That was a
so
lot. My bad.
I don't have much time here, but just to kind of give you all a quick rundown is focusing on agent outreach, have a team of callers who are calling, seeing if the agent might be open to seller finance. I'm pulling that list off PropStream, low equity, like you said, and really just trying to help close deals for my team. And so in terms of systems that I'm using, we're to stay in contact with each other within the team. We're using Discord. We have Astro Blaster as our CRM.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I use Google Files a lot to for me and my partners information for the most part.
Yeah.
Same. So yeah, we're pretty well aligned at that point. We have we're using instead of Astrobaster, we're using Podio, and then so with the as far as like data validation, we have Privy, Batch, and Prop Stream, not Prop Wire. And oh, that's awesome, man. Okay, and you said you have a team running right now. What do you have? VAs
Right. That's what I
operating?
was about to ask.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to find a VA, but we have newer investors who are trying to get their first deal. And so that's kind of the team I've kind of built around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, integrator.
I love it. I love it. Hey man, we're gonna fit together well, bro. This is my jam.
I was
Wait,
just gonna say we
bro,
need that, bro.
Alex, hope this doesn't sound weird. How old are you, Alex?
I'm 21.
Hell yeah, my boy. Oh, that's Alex. We're about to fast forward you 20 years, bro. You good.
Oh, yeah.
No cap.
You good. We're gonna do what we can. No, it sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders, man. Sounds like you're in the right spot. So yeah, Chris is 40. Earl Chris is
Bro,
not 40.
chill.
Am I the closest to 40? I think I am, aren't I? Oh man, y'all slay me every day. I'm gonna turn to stone, bro. We gotta get this done before I turn 40. It's over. It's a
Bro,
wrap.
about to turn to dust. Nah,
Oh,
chill.
this is like a crack in the road. Oh, it's good. But yeah, I know you said you're short on time here, man. Hey, save the link. Save the link if you don't have it. Chris, can you drop it one more time? Save it in our contacts.
Got you, bro.
Please, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Because I'm putting the thing together over here. Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
You see me fighting for my life over here with Google?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, we
Awesome.
love to have you in here, man. And especially what we do during off no pay hours, which is usually about like 8 o'clock, like Chris said. is we kind of go over some of those finer points. We're really refining the structure. And so if you're an integrator and you're looking to get into some of those finer points, I would love to talk to you about what you're specifically trying to get after, right? You're doing the agent outreach, right? I've got some SMS automation stuff that I'm just loving, right? It's just like my favorite thing to try to do. And I just want to ramp it up. And so if we're looking honestly, so here's my thing, right? Let's short circuit for a second. My position that I've explained to at least 3 other teams is that every team needs at least 2 integrators, every single one. And I don't care what anybody says. Somebody's got to be building big operating systems and things in that space, and somebody has to be helping manage the teams and structure. I would love to talk with you about where you might fit in that whole picture, because for me, I don't really care. I don't really care. I just do whatever it takes. And if everyone's on the same page with the same goals, I would love to integrate however you see fit. The way that our machine is going forward is we're making this transparent. We're trying to build community, trying to make it so that, like you're saying, where there's people who want to get started, they want to get started. They're new investors. Maybe they don't have the data. Maybe they don't have the systems. Maybe they don't have the community. Maybe they get tired sitting on the computer by themselves at 11 o'clock at night. But we're in here like doing it every day, right? And so there's value in there. So yeah, we can definitely talk about it. I'll capture your information here before it disappears.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely stay in touch. I saved the Discord link, and so
Perfect.
I'll definitely be hopping on here in the future.
Perfect. And now I have your phone number, so I'm gonna text you and gently harass you if I don't see him. Like, hey, Alex, what happened, bro? Like, what happened, dude? We gotta get together. We gotta do some REI reply, man. What's going on? I've got an agent. Call this dude for me. Let's see what happens.
Cool, man.
Let's get on some dials. All right,
Cool.
brother.
Peace. Have a good day,
Don't
everyone.
let us make you late.
All
Take
right,
it easy,
man.
man.
Yeah, peace.
Bro's cool.
Good dude, good dude, good
Yeah,
dude.
integrated. I was
Man, you
just
guys are
thinking
so
that
much
too.
smarter than I was, man. Bro, I wish I was doing this shit at 21. 21.
21.
I
It's
don't know.
crazy.
I'm
I'll
gonna
be
call this
Saturday.
marketing. It's Saturday? Your birthday
Yeah.
Saturday? Shut up. No, it ain't.
September 23rd, Saturday, right?
That is Saturday.
Shit.
Oh, we talked about that. Your birthday is a week before Kenzie's.
Yeah.
Terms checklist 2023.
Chris, when's your birthday?
September 23rd.
Oh, I wasn't here for that, so I'm sorry. That's so crazy. My mom's birthday is 20th. My uncle's birthday is the 22nd. It's like everybody's born in September, man.
Nah, bro, that's crazy.
You know
Not
why?
enough people to be honest.
You know why?
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 Because 9 months ago was Christmas time.
I'm crying, bro. Yeah,
Hey man, sometimes it be like that. You gotta call it what it is.
I'll say this. I'm gonna tell y'all something really weird about my family. So my mom, my 2 uncles, they're all born a year apart, and they're all born 2 days apart, all in September. It was severely planned by my grandparents.
Really?
They're
Oh,
born
yeah.
September 20th and September 22nd.
There you go. You know why?
They wanted
You
to
know
be
why?
Virgos or something?
You know why? Because 9 months before that is Christmas time. Everybody's like, it's that New Year, that New Year swag. New Year, new me. Hey, I hate to tell you, but that's what happened.
And my grandpa's like, yeah, I was playing with they were supposed to be September 18th, 19th, and 20th, but somebody messed it up. I'm like, messed up what, bro? What are you
Well,
talking
you better
about?
push that baby out. Yeah. I got you. I'm working on it right now, Ariana. I got you, girl. I'm gonna shoot it to you, and then you can download it and shoot it straight to our boy. Because I'm not gonna take over your machine. I'm gonna leave it to you and Earl to validate, and then if it's clean, it's clean. I mean, you can. I don't know if you can see me doing this thing. Puppy. Let me see. Put that in marketing. Call it right there. Show the same people. Make a copy. Fool. This one should be pretty straightforward. This is a super simple one. I just take my sweet ass time because I take forever on everything. I don't need none of this. Miss all of that shit. Okay, what do we need? We need a mortgage statement. We need a insurance. We don't need it, but I like it. Well, it doesn't necessarily need it because it'll be on the thing. We need the mortgage statement. We need the what the fuck did I say? Bro, I already forgot what I need. I need the mortgage statement. That's it. Check. You can be like, this is pointless. All right, mortgage statement. God dang, cash flow.
Uh-oh.
So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about standard, and then cash flowing assets. Cool. Mortgage statements. Yeah, bro, what are you doing? Mortgage statement. So Ariana, are you still there? Can you come on? Can you come on to the audio for a second?
Hi, I'm here.
So here's my next question to you. All right. What's the next deal? Where's the next dial?
Oh, I'm getting back on right
You
now.
getting
I'm not
back
at my
on? Girl, you better.
yes, of
Oh, you're not at your
course.
desk? Okay, I was say
Gotta
you gotta
keep
call
this
that list.
momentum going.
You gotta keep it going. She got Ariana lucky. We need to have her call every list, right? I got a couple I need you to call up.
Right.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, what I on a serious note, what I want to caution against is this disease called one-itis. So you might have one in the pipeline. Don't get stuck. The goal is that we're all gonna have our hands in the pot. We're all gonna touch it. We're gonna make it get through to the end of the line. As an acquisitions person, yeah, I want to make this seamless for you. You're gonna have this doc. You'll never have this problem again. You never have to wait again, and then you just fucking just launch it out, right? But yeah, when you gotta think about that. What's the next one? When's your next dial? Who's your next call? What's the data target? It's your wait payment arrears. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Hey, you did a fantastic job. I don't
Thank
know what it
you.
was. He was like, yeah, my girl Ariana, I'll do whatever she wants.
Right. Right.
I
You gotta
think it
leave
was
it.
just being, quick on our feet. So me and Earl was on the phone as I was calling him out. And soon as he gave me the information, we ran the numbers and we sent that offer letter.
I
So I
love
think that's
that.
what it was.
Speed is key, right? That's why Chris is a killer on cash. If we can keep that level of speed, and we can make sure that we got everything we need and we do what we say we're gonna do first, done. It's a deal. It's a deal. It's a deal. It's a deal. I love that.
Right.
Bop, 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 beep, 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 beep.
I had another question. So is this the same
Go
link to
ahead.
get on the phone for overnight?
Every single time. Yep, you can lock that one in.
Okay. I'll be back on this night.
Okay, okay. And then you're also, like I told Luke, feel free to share that. If you find somebody, sounds like they might be interested, if you think they might be a good fit, if they're just interested to talk about or just come hang out, they don't even necessarily have to do anything. They can just come kick it. Drop them in, drop the link to them, okay?
Okay, will do.
See you later, Ari.
Yes. I'm putting y'all on and off mute because my background is loud.
You're all good. Thank you. Thank you for that consideration.
Is you leaving? Or you
No,
staying?
no, she's staying. She's hanging out. She's waiting on this. She was just saying that she's muting us because background's a little loud. Hey Chris, what time is it? My thing's not pulling
It's
up.
4:43.
Oh, there it is. Okay, it didn't work before. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this. I didn't think I would be a good teacher, but I guess I feel as though like
Hmm?
I don't know, but I get those ideas. And so
Oh, good.
I might start lining this shit up real quick. Let me just go over them with
Yeah, y'all smoking it. Y'all gonna keep me busy all day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
These elephant child, these baby elephants, they
Bro,
are.
they're hungry. They
Yeah.
hungry. I love it. Hey, if they give me 17 elephants like Ariana, I need 112 more of those. Get them in
Okay.
here. We just got to give them the data.
So we got us the elephant. See, we got an baby elephant that might be close to your age, Paris. Like he said, he's been an HVAC service technician for 17 years.
God, dog.
that makes it seem like you
That
old.
boy 44. Why you gotta do me like that, Aaliyah? Why you gotta play me like that? That's old.
That
No,
makes
that's
it old.
good. We're gonna be talking about dumb stuff like milk in a bag. I don't know about that.
He's in
I'm gonna be
North
like, bro, you
Carolina.
remember that milk in a bag? What? Did you really?
I'm screaming. He's in. Wait, have
Bro,
you heard of Fuquay, Verena, North Carolina?
Fuquay? Yeah, it's by
Yeah.
Raleigh. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. You know
that's
what's gonna be crazy? I'm just waiting for the day that you guys bring somebody in here and I know them. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry out loud.
crazy. Oh, we love it. And he's trying to retire his wife and himself. He is not taking no for
Is
an
he
answer.
still in? Is he still in HVAC right now? He's got an HVAC business. I'm trying to buy that. Y'all want to
Shoot.
buy a business together?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
He
If he's
said
selling his business, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
he
I'll
said he
take
has a
it.
day job and it's from 7 to 7, so he's tired of it. So maybe
He a swimmer. He's be a swimmer.
Yeah, he might
Do it
have a
and teach him.
business that he
That's how we
needs
do it.
to get rid of. Right.
Right.
stay on top of Keith.
I love it.
But you're not going into the business though. Either way, it's just a process.
All right, almost done, almost done. Take that down, take that down. In order to adequately prepare a valid terms offer our acquisition team will require the following documents.
Nicole asked about the scripts too.
They're in the folder.
Right.
Remember? We put in there earlier. They should be set to share with
Functions.
anyone with the link. So
Gotcha.
they should be
That's the
anybody
function.
who clicks the link should be able to see them as a viewer. You won't be able to edit them, but they're free. Give them to whoever. They probably need to be reviewed. We got to make them better. I want to make sure that whatever we give people is fucking chef's kiss.
Wait. Scripts are okay to get comfortable, but after you get comfortable, after a while,
Yeah.
everybody is different though. But I'm
No,
pretty
I think you're right. I think eventually we want to move away from scripts. And then
right.
it should literally just be the checklist, right? If I get all these 15 things, I get all 15 if I get all 15 of these things, then I should be able to determine, right? These first 8 things, that's a cash deal. Send it.
Right.
Okay, it's not cash. Okay, here's the other
Right.
7 or whatever the case is, right? I mean, I just made a copy of the terms checklist, right? We can if you want to build off of this and just duplicate it, then like whatever makes sense in that specific space. Because what I would love to do is have these things ready as a PDF so we could just shoot them out. Right? Like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. If you give me this information, it's even better for bird doggers, right? Hey, this is the things that I need from you. If you go get these things, we can validate an opportunity. And even better, if you have these things, we can qualify an opportunity. In order to provide the most advantageous.
I'll be right back.
Oh, I just pretty much found. I think I just found us somebody to call list for us. I love that.
Is that Eduardo? I'm getting some of these notifications.
No, it's someone called Berger, but basically Berger is a top rep for the sales company that they're at, but they're having issues this week, so they just have a lot of time to call. And they're like,
Okay.
let's do it.
Hell yeah. Cash flowing assets, expense reports, income reports. They've only had 5 months. Front rolls, expense reports. All right. So simple, effective. In order to conduct, I don't like this font. What is it? Libre. Size, I think size 12 is what it says in branding. In order to conduct complete and comprehensive underwriting or acquisition. So in order to conduct complete and comprehensive underwriting or acquisition, team will require the following documents. So I'm gonna make it to deliver a fair and accurate offer. Our team conducts a complete and comprehensive underwriting of the subject property. find the following documents. Deviation. Inaccurate or outdated information. Providing inaccurate, outdated, or incomplete. Which may result. Personal dev. This is like perfect timing. Deliver fair and accurate offer. Our team conducts a complete and comprehensive, I won't say complete, a comprehensive underwriting of the subject property. Underwriting of the subject property, providing accurate information made it sweet. Organic complete information may. So we need a most recent mortgage statement. Most recent mortgage statement as applicable. Monthly payment, interest, taxes, insurance. Payment, taxes. All right, all right, all right. Oh, file save. Personal development. Hey, yo. Personal development. Hey, yo. Cool, I got that. Alex's stuff is in there. All right, Ariana, I'm about to drop this to you. Ariana. Ba, ba, ba.
I'm here.
You're good, you're good. I'm just gonna share this with you. Now, you know how to download it as a document, like as an individual document, like a PDF and things like that.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna share it directly to you. I'm gonna keep playing with it, but I'm just gonna share it direct. Boom, there you go. Ariana, J1, editor. I'm gonna make you a viewer so you can copy it, and then you'll have your copy. I'm gonna move this elsewhere as it needs to move. And there you go.
No, got it. Okay,
Cool.
and then go ahead and I'll send that over to Alejandro.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. Make sure that you update your contact information. It's the same template as the LOI. So whatever you put at the bottom of the LOI, just snatch that, drop it in
Okay.
the bottom of this bad boy. Cool.
Okay, and I'll
And
let you know.
then yeah, if he has any questions, he'll go straight to you. They've already got an offer, which you guys nailed. This is the checklist. And then what you can tell them is like, hey, if there's anything they don't have, that's don't delay. The sooner we start getting the information, the sooner we can start to generate that underwriting snapshot. Cool.
Cool, sounds good.
Easy. All right. And if you have any other questions, you have us here on Zoom. You already have that. Obviously, you already have some of our phone numbers, and then you have my number now as well. So I won't say don't text me. However, I'm really bad at it. So come to the
So you
Zoom and
prefer
come snapshot
calls?
us. Yeah, if you call me, that would be probably the best case scenario, right? I'm a talker, but I somewhat get better at getting to the point that way.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, if he says something back and he's like, "Let's fucking do it," just call me. Let's just do the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Or call Earl. Earl is your
That's my
senior
right hand
partner.
right there.
Yeah, so you can just contact Earl if for some reason, I want to say if for some reason, if Alejandro wants to talk to me for some stupid reason, then we can talk about it, but I will direct you back to Earl 9 times out of 10. Cool?
Okay, my phone's about to die.
Hey, you guys are nailing it. Keep going. Keep doing great stuff.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna join back on the Zoom as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we get it. Everybody's here got things. We've got family. Nobody's gonna be mad if you don't show back up, right? Because sometimes I'll be late. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody I'll be late.
It is on. You had to press the
But yeah,
button.
you're
Okay.
all good. All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We'll get to the next one. Okay, let me save this over here. I gotta call my wife, guys. Where that girl at? Where they at though? Where she at though? All right, terms checklist 2023. Mm-hmm. 5%. That's cool. Good. That's actually pretty damn good. If it's 5%, it's 2.5, 2.5. So, what I would love to do with this one I haven't run all the numbers. We'll get into it. He already told us his commission split is 5%. So there's 5%, 2.5, 2.5 on each side, or maybe it's 3, 2, which is what some agents do. I'm not really married to it. I don't really care. But we'll get into the weeds of that. And then once we know all of these things, we'll be able to go forth and knock this bad Larry out of the park. So let me see. Required documents. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, you got to update the date. Let me tell her to update. Don't forget the date. Don't forget the date. Ariana, don't forget the date. Oh. Hey, man. Da, 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 da. Okay. I don't know whose phone number that is, bro. The right number. Alex. Text Alex. 520. Oh, stop the sharing there for a second. Let's do this.